This month was super quiet for Star Wars canon, but it ended up with a bang as Star Wars Rebels Season 3 kicked off with a premiere that leaves everyone wanting more. The Force Awakens has also gotten a bit of extra love in printed mediums this month. Let us take a look at what came out and its place in the timeline as we explore the additions to the Star Wars canon, September 2016. There were only 4 separate entries into the canon this month. We start this month with Marvel Comics' Poe Dameron issue number 6, the final issue in the Lockdown story arc. Finn's story, an adaptation of The Force Awakens from Finn's point of view. Marvel's The Force Awakens adaptation, issue number 4. And finally, Star Wars, issue number 23. Additionally this month, we saw the premiere of Star Wars Rebels Season 3, with the 2-part episode, Steps into Shadows. Now, let us take a brief look at where each of these stories fits within the Star Wars canon timeline. While the trend continues with a lull in pre-Episode 3 content, we did get some exciting news. The tales in Obi-Wan's journal that have been used to dive into Obi-Wan's time on Tatooine will be used in an upcoming issue of Marvel's Star Wars to give us our first look at a pre-Episode 1 story, diving into Yoda's past. However, until that issue comes out, we will continue to be in a dry spell for this time frame. After Episode 3, we got the premiere of Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Steps into Shadows, where we saw Ezra taking command of the Ghost's crew on a Rebel mission. The time gap from Season 2 finale to the Season 3 premiere is several months, and we see that Ezra has dabbled in some dark side teachings. Kanan finally finds himself in this episode after encountering the Bendu, which makes our knowledge of the Force that much more uncertain. After Episode 4, A New Hope, we have Star Wars issue number 23. The Rebels have captured the Star Destroyer Harbinger, and now must use it to complete their mission. Who is it that is going to try and stop them? Again, nothing new here between 5 and 6. After Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, we have Poe Dameron, issue number 6, part 3 of the story arc Lockdown. This completes this arc as we see Poe finally gets the information he was sent to acquire while escaping the forces of Agent Terex. But it seems there may be an information leak inside the Resistance, setting up the plot for our next arc. A couple of adaptations for The Force Awakens were also released this month. The 4th issue in Marvel's The Force Awakens adaptation showed Rey's Force vision, which was stunning to see in a printed medium. We also had Finn's story released, which tells The Force Awakens from Finn's perspective, and even ties in a bit of information we originally found in Greg Rucka's Before the Awakening novel. That concludes this update for September 2016. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with all the insight and analysis found here at Star Wars The Canon Explained. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Leave your comments and questions about this story or any element of the Star Wars canon below. Till next time, may the Force be with you.